Time for your October 16th update! Alright, all you beautiful humans, got a great video in store for you. We're going to talk about Elizabeth Warren and Stormy Daniels just failing miserably, both of them. We're going to discuss Julian Assange, some stuff coming out of the Justice Department, and then a few other things too. But first of all, late last night, you might have been sleeping, I uploaded a couple of videos, one of them being the official trailer for Above Majestic. I'll link it, make some cards pop up, pew pew pew. Click that, go watch it after this video. I'm super stoked for this doc to be coming out on October 30th. That's the 30th. I've been wrong. I've been saying the 31st. Thought it was that day. It's not. It's the 30th, and the platforms that it will be on off the top of my head: iTunes, Amazon, Google, and Xbox Play. I think it might be on Vimeo, and then a couple others I can't quite remember. But any of those platforms, boom, check it out, the 30th. And did y'all see what was going on with Twitter this morning? It was weird. Everybody was getting these notifications, and they were stringers of letters and numbers, a bunch of them, and nobody knows what was really going on. Even Jack, CEO of Twitter, took to Twitter and said, "Don't know what's happening. We're investigating." And it was just weird. Another thing I saw interesting about that is that on Jack's tweet, the top commenter on one of them was that parody Satan account. S8N, Satan. If you remember, if you follow Q, a couple of months ago, Q referenced that specific account and said they did because those parody accounts, Satan one especially, is run by, quote, big names. So who's really behind that pseudo account, don't know, but they look to be joking with Jack right there in plain sight on Twitter. It's disgusting. Okay, so anyway, first thing I want to mention here is a couple of deaths in the ufology community. One of those deaths is a man by the name of Robert Dean, Bob Dean. He was a man that was speaking at conferences and on videos and in interviews talking about his time within the military and his knowledge of the UFO and government cover-up of which. So thoughts go out to him. I never met him, but I have seen a few of his videos on Project Camelot and have listened to him, and I like what he was saying. He seemed like a very kind gentleman. And then we also had another passing away, this man named Carl Wolf. Carl Wolf was another person blowing the whistle, telling about his experiences, and he has testimony where he was an eyewitness to artificial structures being scrubbed out of NASA photographs of the moon. You can see here him testifying for the Disclosure Project. He testified at the National Press Conference in 2001 in front of former congressmen and the media about his experiences. There's videos you can find there about him as well. So I'll be digging into these two men's testimony now that they're gone and seeing what they had to say. Carl Wolf was also a doctor, and he put out a lot of information on health as well. It's super interesting to me. So Bob Dean as well. Bob Dean had a crypto clearance, one of very few men who've been in the ufology arena who used to have a crypto clearance talking about these things. So again, look into their work. So many insiders, so many people have been blowing the whistle for a long time about all sorts of different things. So we need to take their testimonies and just piece them all together, try to get the big picture of what's going on behind the scenes. All right, so let's talk about this absolutely hilarious story yesterday. Elizabeth Warren, man. It's like, what's going on the mainstream public political scene, it's so bad for the deep state. It's almost like too bad. It's like it's a show, It's with what happened with Dr. Ford and her testimony, what happened with Feinstein, she's destroying herself. Now Elizabeth Warren put out her DNA results. But the DNA results showed that she's only 1,024th Native American. For so long, she's been trying to claim ancestry or say that has some sort of tribal heritage, but her DNA test only showed 1,024th. She had a guy from Stanford, red flags right there, a guy from Stanford run her DNA tests, and they didn't have even any actual Native American DNA. So they use certain subsets from foreign countries, like South America countries, to try to test Elizabeth Warren's DNA with. So it's just the shoddiest, most terrible media report, like press release Elizabeth Warren can do, and it's just so awful. I don't know. I really don't understand this this game that's going on this planet right now, but it is hilarious actually, and funny to see. So the memes, all the jokes that came out about Elizabeth Warren was so funny. This meme was great. Cherakinda, you can see a person made a infographic here saying this person's grandfather. So way over here would be her actual Native American DNA, and she's so far removed that it's pathetic that she could claim any tribal heritage. She even pissed off the Cherokee Nation. The Cherokee Nation issued a statement slamming Warren for her continued claims of tribal heritage. It's beautiful to see. And not only is Elizabeth Warren crumbling, Stormy Daniels, too. Stormy Daniels' lawsuit dismissed. Now Trump is entitled to legal fees. And what's hilarious here is that her whole GoFundMe that raised hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay off her, quote, legal fees and all that, now that's all going to Trump. And the jokes of this are absolutely hilarious too. Saw people tweeting like, man, who had more DNA in them? Native American DNA, Elizabeth Warren or Stormy Daniels? And in regards to her line of work, I don't know. But anyway, oh God, it's so bad. It's so bad. They're failing, and this is so beautifully happening. Staging all before midterms, right? All before midterms. It's just going to be a breeze going through this and really setting up what we need to set up through the next couple months to start really going on the offensive against the deep state. I think that'll start happening really in 2019. Glorious months these will be. All right, so I want to make a quick shout out to a sponsor of this YouTube channel, and Noble Gold Investments. They're a great family-run company out of Texas. They help you invest your money in gold and silver, and they make this awesome commemorative silver Trump coin that's really, really neat. Makes a great gift. So there'll be some links in the description if you want their assistance in investment or want to pick up one of these cool coins. All right, guys, next topic. Let's talk Julian Assange. So Julian Assange has regained internet access at embassy base. WikiLeaks has said Ecuador has agreed to end isolation regime imposed on its founder. So again, another thing happening before midterms. I wonder if Julian Assange is going to play into some sort of like Red October event or help drop some certain things in the coming weeks or month or two in regards to everything going on. Now, one thing I have been seeing going around, though, is people talking about WikiLeaks saying that we'll bring Hillary Clinton down by October 21st. I'm seeing this article be posted and shared a lot by October 21st. And quite honestly, guys, in looking into this and looking at all the websites that have been posting it, finding it on Reddit and some other places, I don't see anything actually sourced directly back to WikiLeaks saying this. In this article here, there's no actual link to anything. Reddit is even saying that it might have been from years past. Is this legit? You know, linking some stuff that doesn't have any sourcing of it anyway. So I wouldn't jump the gun about that October 21st date quite yet. But I do think with Julian Assange regaining internet connection, you know, that is going to play into something. And Julian Assange would be a great non-biased, non-partisan source if the said alliance or the white hats were trying to drop any sort of incriminating evidence against the deep state, right? So, yeah, he's going to play in some way. I just don't know if it's going to be on the 21st. Okay, so let's move on talking about what's going on with the Justice Department. I want to show you just justice.gov today. Look at all these press releases in their Justice News section. So we've got a ton of stuff coming out about businessmen being sentenced to prison for tax fraud. We've got 4 men and 7 companies indicted for billion-dollar telemedicine fraud conspiracy. We've got a healthcare CEO. A lot of these are about big pharma. A healthcare CEO pleading guilty to $150 million healthcare fraud involving harmful injections and unnecessary prescription of millions of opioids. So this is great news. The Justice Department indicting, announcing that all these businessmen and people are getting, you know, their fraud schemes are getting taken care of, but also big pharma. And I think this connects into another Justice Department release that happened yesterday, where the Justice Department is in Sessions basically is saying that a federal task force to disrupt and dismantle a bunch of drug cartels and criminal gangs is happening. So the MS-13 and Hezbollah is being a couple of them. And it's all connected, guys, because MS-13, these criminal gangs, these organizations, they basically do the groundwork. They do the dirty work for these higher, more well-connected deep states that are the politicians and the CEOs and the board directors, et cetera, you know? So the MS-13, these transnational criminal organizations do the trafficking. They do the wet works operations for really cheap, you know, far cheaper than the mercenaries or the paramilitary contractors will do it for. And of course it ties into the drugs as well. Because notice, after we got on the ground in Afghanistan in 2001, the percentage of opium production went up 1,000%. Much of that opium is now fueling our opioid crisis. These dirty big pharma corporations, they're getting it on the black market for really cheap, is my guess, from all the way everything connects. And I think these transnational organizations help to run those operations. So it's no coincidence to me that right now we have these criminal gangs being put on blast and all of these pharmaceutical healthcare CEOs, big pharma guys also being put on blast too. All right, so the last thing I want to share with you guys, Representative Jim Jordan's tweet. Jim Jordan, definitely a white hat, definitely working with the good guys trying to oust these deep staters out of the FBI and DOJ right now. So Jim Jordan made a tweet that says, still haven't received from DOJ McCabe memos, Rosenstein memo altering scope of Mueller probe, unredacted page FISA app, Bruce Orr's 302s, and the briefing from U.S. Attorney John Huber. And I was excited to see John Huber's name in there. His name now boiling up to the mainstream a little bit more so because we're getting closer and closer to the unsealing of all those wonderful indictments to John Huber basically being activated. But this tweet, man, it's just letting the public know the things that are coming. They might come before midterms, maybe. I would also not be surprised if they came afterwards. It would seem like much less of a political kind of move. It would give the deep state a lot less propaganda ammo. You see, if these happened after the midterm elections in, say, mid-end of November. But it's coming. It's coming very soon, guys. Like I said, the end of 2018, I think, will be glorious, and that will set us up to make 2019 a true year of ousting the bad guys and then getting to work ourselves to start changing these control systems. Really, it's going to be a massive effort. I don't think you or even I often understand how big this is going to be. This Great Awakening isn't just mental, but it's going to end up being physical too. We're going to need hands-on doing things to really educate everybody about the truth. And then, like I said, changing our systems, our paradigms here, technologically, economically, et cetera, et cetera. So that's it for this one, guys. I just want to say, go follow me on my social medias. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter. Hit me up on the Book of Faces, Facebook. And then you guys follow me on Minds. I'm going to start getting a little bit more active on that one too. Just trying to spread the wings. Spread the wings in case I get censored anywhere. Just pop up. Just keep popping up. They can't keep us down. Thanks for watching, guys. Talk to you soon.